do we get to rent to specific people? Is it a global renting system? How the price is going to work, fees and structure. If you could go into a bit of detail for that, that'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So great question. So the rentals are pretty cool actually. So so let's say you're a Mech owner.
Yep.
You can kind of like, let's say you run your Mechs, let's say 4 hours out of the day. You can actually designate the hours outside of that as a rental time, and then put it up to the market. You specify what the cost of it is. There's a lot of different like price models you can do. So you could share rewards, or you can charge a daily fee. There's like quite a few variations. So then someone can come and pick up that Mech, and they can run it for the time where you don't. And what's really cool about our rental system is that we actually have subleasing, so they can also put it back on the market for hours that they're inactive. So potentially we could get 3 or so people actually running a single Mech.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's all my question I had.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, we've got another good question here in the live AMA chat. Someone says, how does the Nexus Mech shield work if it's not 360 like Genesis?
Yeah, good question. So the Nexus Mechs have essentially like a throw shield. So the AI has to know to throw it in a certain direction, and you actually see the shield generator on the Mechs. It's animated. We'll actually turn to that direction and project a shield in that place. It does mean they're disadvantaged in that they can only throw a single shield at a time, and they'll have to decide using their AI whether to throw it backwards, forwards, whether to disengage it, and there's always a time cost to these actions. So they are slightly disadvantaged, but one advantage they have is that they can throw that shield quite a bit further than, say, the 360 shield would. So they can potentially guard against splash damage and things like that. So it's pretty cool. The really interesting thing is that this shield will be the same kind of shield that when we go into shooter stage and humans are piloting Mechs, they'll have to operate the same shield, which is interesting shooter dynamics.
Definitely. Okay, yeah, we've got another question here, one from Ice Pickle. He says, are all the announced Nexus features going to be released at the same time, or will it be a phased rollout?
So this is one of those questions that could get me in trouble with the devs, but the intention is to release it all at once. It's a lot of the features in Nexus are very intertwined, so it has to come out all at once. There may be some smaller features or things that are not necessary that might be delayed a bit just to focus on the main release. But the intention is Nexus is going to be a huge release.
Sweet. How will the lobby system look, and how will it change the gameplay?
Great question. So the lobby is actually really cool. Essentially broken down into 2 battle modes. We have story mode, which I'm not going to release too much information on, but it's not incentivized in the same way that the current battle system is. You win something else. In story mode, you essentially enlist your mechs, so you put them into a pool of mechs, and anyone who's online and their mechs are in the pool, they may be called into battle. The next battle mode in the battle lobby is exhibition, where players can actually stage their own battles. They can specify what the rewards for that battle are, and we are implementing a mechanism that means it's not completely connected to SUTs. It's not. It's a little bit different to the current system. In this exhibition mode, you will specify the map you want to play in, and you'll open your slots to other players, and you can invite other players. They can join, and you basically can schedule a whole battle. It's going to be really, really cool. And this also is how we are introducing multiple battle streams. So when the battle lobby drops, there'll be at least 2 battle streams, and our kind of intention is to dynamically change the amount of battle streams based on the amount of online players, both in viewers and in queued up battles.
All right. Marketplace. Obviously, that's coming with this drop as well. Do we know when exactly that will be coming so that people can prepare to on-world their key cards from OpenSea?
June 15.
June 15th. Speaking of June 15th, do we have a timeline of how Phase 2 rolls out? Freshmark says he was expecting it to be 15th of June, then saw it won't be until the 30th. Is everyone's pre-sale purchase hidden and then a release happens, or reveal on the 30th? Did you get that?
Yeah, that's right. That is exactly what will be happening. You will be able to see your loot box, but you won't be able to open it until the loot box open day, which is June 30. So everyone will be able to open their loot boxes at the same time.
And these loot boxes are mintable as NFTs as well, right?
Yeah, that's right. You could totally export them out and sell them on OpenSea, or sell them on the player-to-player marketplace. There is a kind of mini game with the loot box as well that will be like an interesting way to engage with it before you get to open it. But they will stay locked, and they'll have a little timer on them, and then it'll be a giant party as everyone opens their crates.
But people don't even have to open their crates on reveal day, right? They can choose to hold off on that and just keep that crate and keep the mystery of it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you could sit on your crate for several months and then sell it on the player-to-player marketplace once all the other crates have sold out. Absolutely a possibility.
Perfect. In order for the rental system to be useful, we want to see a large influx of players. Is this something you're anticipating or planning for?
Yeah, of course. We are ramping up our marketing budget over the next few months, especially once Nexus actually drops. There's no point running too much marketing at this stage and bringing in players until all these new features are here. So it is a kind of catch-22, and the interesting thing about the rental system is that we have several very, very, very large guilds waiting for this system, and we've set them up so that when all this drops, they'll be bringing in all of their guild members, and we're talking thousands and thousands of people. So the rental system itself will bring an influx of players.
Yeah, and basically the whole marketing department has actually been preparing for this release specifically. Everything's been building up to this, advertising, marketing.
Yeah, the entire company has. This is going to be huge.
Any details that can be spilt on what the blueprints are and how they might be used?
That's interesting. I'm not sure if we should leak that information in this AMA. The blueprints are for a future version of Supremacy, and they'll be used in the factories. And these blueprints that we'll be selling, they're the only versions of those blueprints that will ever go out. So there is a limited number of them. And that's all I'll say on that. Is
the Titan Mech one of one to every syndicate, or one of one across all syndicates?
So we kind of answered that before with the announcement of the competition. So the winner of that competition will obviously either already have a faction or decide their faction, and so it'll be a 1-for-1 of that faction. So definitely an actual 1-for-1.
All right. Will we be able to purchase other syndicates' weapons for our black market mechs we hold?
So not on the Supremacy marketplace. You'll have to go out to the black market.
So on the player-to-player marketplace, you can only trade your own syndicates' weapons and mechs, or
That's right. You can only trade within your faction.
okay. What is the timeline for shooter mechs piloted by players?
So this is a question I can't properly answer. But I will say it's a lot sooner than what we specified on our roadmap. And we've always been building the game to support it being a shooter as well, first person shooter. And we are definitely kind of already looking into what it would take to get that to market. We really believe that the shooter experience in Supremacy will be an absolute game changer and turn Supremacy almost into a form of esports. So we're very, very, very bullish on it, and there literally is nothing like this out in the marketplace. So we're very committed to bringing that out as quickly as we can. Obviously, it has to be polished and it has to be good. So I can't, at this early stage, I definitely cannot give any kind of any idea of how long it'll take us. But as we have more information and as we have some like real internal demos we can show, we'll release that, because it's going to be really, really awesome, and will definitely change the way players interact with Supremacy, not just through the shooter, but through the actual battle stream.
All right. If anyone does want to hop up on the stage and ask their question personally, you can go ahead and do that if you have a burning question. Otherwise, I'm going to keep filtering through them myself here. Got one from Josh here. Since the Genesis mechs already have weapons, can we disassemble the weapon and swap it onto the new Nexus mech?
So, not right away. There is a storyline for the Genesis mechs that will be introduced very, very shortly, and it ties into the gameplay and the battle stream. On release of Nexus, we'll announce what exactly that is. There's a big upgrade for the Genesis mechs coming, but the Syndicates have to earn the upgrades, and so this will be a global challenge for each Syndicate, and a race to get there first. That's as much as I can say right now.
Do we have numbers for total supply of Nexus mechs that we can reveal?
That'll be announced along with the pricing.
Cool. How does custom AI tie with the next phases?
So custom AI is already in our development version, but it's not public facing yet. So we haven't finished the tools for players to create their own. But the AI that's running the mechs, the Nexus mechs, the old mechs, is it's essentially what a custom AI developer would generate. Soon, once we're really happy with it, we will actually open source it. We'll put it up on GitHub, and all the clever devs in our community will be able to take a look and think about how they'll build their own. And then not too long after the release of Nexus, I can't say exactly how long at this stage, because obviously we're focused on Nexus release, but not too long after it, we'll actually release the testing environment for people to build their own, and the ability to swap out AIs in the in the Mech fleet management. So it's coming pretty soon, and yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. You'll also be able to like create an AI and then sell it as a one-for-one on the player-to-player marketplace, or export it as an NFT. So essentially, the Mech AIs will be NFTs.
All right. Sarah Connor is talking about a question from earlier about the marketplace and on-worlding keycards. I've noticed that a lot of people from our early supporters have got their keycards off-world, in their wallets, on-chain, in their OpenSea. Those people are complaining about gas fees, basically, for on-worlding their key cards all at the same time, right as the drop happens. Is there anything we can tell those people?
We will do something for them. I'm not sure what, so I can't announce yet, but I'll definitely make sure that we, essentially do something for those early supporters who, in good faith when I minted them, not realizing that you'd have to bring them back. To be fair, we didn't realize at the time either. So please accept our sincere apologies on that one. But we will definitely make the experience worthwhile. I'm not entirely sure how exactly we'll do that, because some ways of doing it require development, which means stealing a dev from a different feature. But we'll definitely do something. So and we'll announce what that is before June 15.
All right. Any updates to the gameplay? Should we expect change to current mechs and weapon stats and to abilities?
So current abilities, current mech stats are not going to change. They'll be the same. Obviously, the gameplay itself is going to change dramatically, because we'll have new mechs enter, and a change in the battle lobby. I think there's definitely some things we brought in that will probably change the way people play as well. And we're looking to bring in I don't know if it'll make the Nexus release, unfortunately, but it'll be in not long after that. We're looking to bring in ways to onboard people without subs, and without having to either buy an NFT or buy subs. It's complex, and we obviously don't want to take away value from those things. So we're being very careful with it, and that's why it may not make the Nexus release. But yeah, I mean, there's going to be huge changes with the way people play Supremacy.
All right. Are there any new abilities planned?
Yeah, of course, there's heaps, and there will also be a new one-time ability feature and access to for players. So that should be fun. And actual one-time abilities will be used as incentivization in gameplay. So syndicates will be able to work together to actually earn fun single abilities that they can fire off. So yeah, the Hunger Games world of abilities in the battle stream is going to get even more intense.
In the upcoming update, do we have the option to transfer mechs from one wallet to another without selling it directly on the marketplace, like a gift?
No, not at this stage. One of the reasons we have to be very careful about direct player-to-player transfers behind the scene is we then have to worry about laundering and things like that, and we put ourselves in jeopardy of having to log every transaction in case we get audited by by the police. So it's something we're just kind of avoiding for now. If you need to move stuff around, you'll have to bring it out onto off world. And yeah, I don't think that's going to change anytime soon.
Is the area in the trailer at the end with the shifting walls a map that will be released soon? Ooh.
Yes, it is. I believe there's a YouTube video that actually talks about it.
About the map?
Yeah, did we release that?
Like someone talking about the map or gameplay?
So I definitely saw Troy with the map designer filming talking about it. So I'm not sure if it actually made it out to YouTube, but they're definitely well, I guess we'll have to drop that. Yes. That map is called The Hive, and it is it will actually be our like core battle arena map, and it is really cool. It is really cool. So if we haven't dropped that video, I'll make sure we do.
Do you want to give a couple more details about the map? There's a bunch of special things with this map. I think it's so cool. If you do want to give them a bit more info, maybe.
I think this is a show not tell kind of thing. You know, like you got to see the video. If I just describe it, I think that actually takes away, from how cool it is. So I think we'll just make sure that there's either a little bit of a teaser dropped in the next day or two, or if that video is indeed released or already made, we'll pump it around the socials, and you can take a look. But yeah, the Hive is absolutely coming in Nexus, and it is amazing, really really cool map. And that the game dev who designed it did it completely from scratch, no concept or anything, and he did a great job.
All right. Couple of questions here. Let's see. What are we doing to bring more gamers to the Supremacy world? Marketing campaign, CX listing. We were told that SUPS is currently in negotiation with multiple CEX.
Yes, I'm not going to talk about SUPS, but as for marketing, we obviously we're going to all the conferences. We're getting the word out there. John and I are going to NFT NYC. Currently, Lan and Kyle are at Decentral and going to Consensus next. So, yeah, we're out there in force. It's hard kind of breaking the confines of Australia. And one thing we've definitely found is that even the algorithms are against us. I tweet at midnight, 1, 2, 3 a.m. because I don't like to sleep. And it's still Australians who see my tweets. You look at the analytics, and even though I'm actually more, it's people in the Northern Hemisphere who follow me on Twitter, it's actually just pushing my tweets to Australians. So, we need to break out of the walls that the likes of Twitter and Facebook put around us for being in Australia, and so that's what we're doing. We're traveling. And you'll even see an uptick in Kyle's Twitter account ever since he landed in America. So suddenly your GPS says America, you're okay for Americans to consume your content. So that's the big strategy for the rest of the year. We'll be traveling a lot, hopefully speaking and spreading the gospel. And we're, like I said prior, we are working with guilds to bring them into Supremacy once we have the Mech rental system. This is the killer feature they've been waiting for. So yeah, I mean it's going to be big. There's going to be a big uptick in players over the next few months.
Yeah, that's interesting. You bring up that point about location, because I lived in America for about 10 years, and just being there is so much different on social media. You get so many more views on everything. And then, I came back here to Australia, and just instantly, like that, the views are down, the followers are down, and it's a lot more of an uphill battle. So
and it has nothing to do with time zones. It's purely because these systems are weighting your content based on your location. And it's not even it's not something you can trick them with too. I've tried using VPNs, and they've gotten around that. So you just have to go there. It's crazy.
And that's the plan. We've got a lot of events that the team's going to over the next year or so, and we've got a whole list of every single crypto event and NFT event. So we're watching all of them and planning on networking there. So a lot going on.
Yeah. Watch this space.
We've got a couple more questions about player-controlled mechs. I know we answered most of it earlier. This one's more about lore. He says, will there be a concurrent storyline in the lore which shifts away from the established AI syndicates and provides ability to make factions with guilds? Will the AIs be defeated by the resistance, such as was hinted at in the Zaibatsu Whitelist game?
Yeah, so player-owned syndicates will definitely be a thing soon. And definitely before the shooter drops, because they're kind of intertwined, and definitely intertwined in the lore. The player syndicates will still be subsidiaries of the three major factions. But yeah, it's definitely on the roadmap.
All right. In the trailer, the minigun demolished a wall. Is destructible environments going to be a thing?
So in our dev environment, it already is a thing. We use Unreal's I've forgotten what it's called now. But we use Unreal's destructible engine that came out in Unreal Engine 5, and it is kind of it's really intensive on the on the GPU, and as we're actually preparing for Supremacy to essentially run on a PlayStation 5, we have to be very wary of that. So essentially the design choice for the future will be that destructibles will be strategically destructible. So it's fairly unlikely that we'll turn on real destructibles for like buildings and things like that. We may do some kind of it's almost like a scripted destructible where it's not a physics destructible. That's something we're playing with. But as for like physics destructible, like the wall in the trailer, it'll only be when it's strategic. So let's say you have like a bridge going over a road, and if your mech targets that bridge and destroys it, you block the road. That's the kind of destructibles we'll have. It will be strategic only, so we won't use it like purely for aesthetics.
All right. You talked about PS5 there a little bit. Do we have plans on what are our plans to release Supremacy on platforms like Steam or PlayStation, things like that in the future?
So no plans per se, but we definitely want to, and we'll definitely work to that. Obviously, with NFT gaming as it is, it's always an interesting topic when you talk about lockdown platforms like PlayStation 5 and Xbox. But I think we have ways of working with them. But we'll see. But at this stage, it is a really good development target to make sure that Supremacy runs nice and smooth on these devices. And if they run nice and smooth on a PlayStation, then they'll run nice and smooth on a PC.
All right. With the ebb and flow of users coming and going, a handful of players have acquired a very large number of Genesis mechs. How are you thinking about making sure that these mech owners can be rewarded for their hard work without putting the entire ecosystem at a massive imbalance?
Rentals. And will that put the ecosystem at an imbalance? I don't think so. Essentially, it's a way of them even kind of sharing their wealth. I think rentals will be big for these giant mech owners. I have to believe that when the floor for Genesis mechs starts to rise, that a lot of them will probably sell their mechs anyway, and we'll get a bit more dispersion. But we'll see. It's one of those things that we definitely are not going to put any mechanisms to change balances at this stage. That would be premature.
Zebedee says, I remember that in one of the last AMAs we discussed a potential real-time strategy-like gameplay to come sooner than the shooter, which I absolutely would love. Is that idea scrapped? And if not, will it be integrated with the shooter experience?
That idea is definitely not scrapped, and has actually been split into its own project. Currently, working title is Asteroid Annihilation. And that plugs into the Supremacy world as well. It is an RTS kind of in the vein of my favorite game, Total Annihilation and Beyond All Reason, and these kind of large scale RTSs. Really, really, really early stage at this point. We're still in concept, so I can't speak too much about it. But yeah, we definitely haven't given up on that. I'd say on our floor, it's probably 50-50 first-person shooter players and RTS players. So it's definitely not an idea we would ever drop. And ideally, when it kind of hits production, is when the resources in the Supremacy world start to run out, and Asteroid Annihilation will fill that gap, which will be pretty interesting from a lore perspective and from a gameplay perspective.
How does mech rentals work? Upfront payment of subs or a share of contract win?
So it can be both, and that's decided by the mech owner who puts their contract out, and obviously by the person who rents it. So they decide. We would kind of never force a model like that. I think probably you'll see most mech owners renting theirs out, taking a share, but we'll see. We'll see.
You talked about esports. Do you plan to create multiple arenas, one without the influence of other players and another with the influence of viewers?
I don't see us ever doing arenas without the influence of the viewers. That would just be a standard first-person shooter, and there's plenty of great games that are like that. So, the battle stream, the battle arena, that is what makes Supremacy so unique. So, no, I don't see us ever doing a version of it where the viewers aren't also engaging in the gameplay.
Why would someone pay more for it? Oh, this isn't really Nexus related, but why would someone pay more to get a Deus Ex or a Mythic compared to a Mega and Colossal? Stats are almost the same. Referring to win-loss ratio, is that always going to be the case?
As more functionality rolls out, things like mech repairs and mech destructibility and a whole bunch of other things, the rarity of these mechs will come into play. So, for instance, the Deus Ex will repair a hell of a lot faster than a common. So there'll be more and more reasons to hold mechs with higher rarities.
Do we want to talk a bit more about the skins? I saw a couple of questions about skins and how they're going to work with these mechs.
Sure. Does anyone have any specific questions about skins?
Noah, I lost the questions, but I'll ask one. Are these skins going to be movable between mechs, or are they going to be static, and the rarity of the mech based on the skin?
They will be movable between mechs, or skins will be ones that come with the mech in the loot box, though that won't be. And that, we'll never sell those skins. They'll be like uniques. Sorry, so I got that wrong. You'll be able to take that skin off your mech, put a new skin on it, but that skin, there'll only be a limited amount of them ever.
Yep. Can we create our own skins, customized skins for a specific guild or something like that down the line?
Yeah, it's something we're working on. I don't have a timeline or anything, and it's but it is something I personally want in, as quickly as possible, and would definitely fit in nicely in our player-to-player marketplace. So, yeah, we're looking at ways of supporting that. It's one of the problems with something like that is, you can't really automate that pipeline. So we would have to have people, bringing in the skins and making sure that they are actually optimized enough to work in the game, especially when we go desktop clients. So yeah, it's definitely like a lot of things. It's definitely on the roadmap, and creating, empowering a creator economy is really near and dear to our hearts. So as soon as we can figure out a efficient pipeline for supporting user created skins, we'll definitely implement it.
Can we get more insight into the way the lobby system will work? Do you want to maybe just give a rundown of what that system is and how it's going to be laid out?
I think I already did that. Essentially, if you've ever played any kind of any game where you have to assemble a like a raid party or anything like that, it kind of works like that. So you'll go into exhibition mode, you'll go new battle, you'll give it a name, you'll select the map you want to go on, you'll select how the reward system will work, and then you'll invite players to join you. And then once you've filled out your battle party, for lack of a better word, you will enter it into the game, and you'll join the queue. It's kind of hard to explain without pictures any more than that, but I think we'll probably put out a picture of it by this weekend, so people can get a better idea.
All right, guys, keep those questions coming. If you want to hop up on stage and ask a question directly, feel free to do that. I'll bring you up. Regarding the new update on BC and RM bots, are these changes governed by a balancing committee, or are they done based on collected data?
So we run a simulation here that is many, many, many times faster than real time, and we go based off the outcomes of that simulation.
Pretty funny watching that stream in the office. All the mechs are just going super speed.
Yeah, they look like they're Sonic the Hedgehog.
Especially when they're doing their victory dances at the end. I have 8 Supremacy Discord servers that I'm a member of. With the influx of new people, can we find a way to encourage the current Discords to link through to the Supremacy one? Maybe a competition?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I don't really know how that would work, so I'll leave that to the social media team. But yeah, why not?
Yeah. We'll find a way to bring them all together. We do have there was something about the Discords on the wiki, some section in there. I'm not sure what came of that. I'll have to speak to Matt more about that. But yeah, we're definitely we want to bring everyone into the Supremacy Discord primarily, and we want to make sure that everyone has their needs met here, and they have the ability to to talk to each other and do what they need to here primarily, so they don't really have to go off to other discords like that. But it's good to have those private discords where people can strategize more, and we definitely want to encourage that too.
Yeah, and I get, people want to hide from the devs and the moderators and the admins, right? So I understand that.
For the loot boxes, is it only one weapon per box?
In the weapon loot box, yes. In the mechs come with default weapons. So if you want a BFG, for instance, you'll have to buy a weapon crate.
Right, yeah. So the mech crates come with the weapons, 2 weapons, right? And then the weapon crates are just the weapons on their own.
Yeah, that's right.
How much will the crates be? We already said that info will be coming later. We'll have an update with a few more exciting changes and announcements coming soon. Can we have subgroups with a channel inside official Supremacy with some form of roles? Subgroups.
Yeah, I think we will introduce breaking down chat so that generals can chat amongst themselves. Something we're looking into, and there's definitely changes coming with chat, so just hold out for that. But yeah, it's the chat. I mean, I actually view the chat as the real game, and I'm really I'm always reluctant to change it, and every time we change it, some people hate it and some people love it. So it's something we've got to be gentle with.
To clarify, the mechs have default weapons. They aren't random. I think they will be random, right? Just within the first level.
In the mech loot box, they come with default weapons, so they're not random.
There's 3 different rarity levels of these weapons, right?
Yeah, that's right.
And so these rarity levels, how does that work with the Genesis weapons?
So that's a good question. I don't really have an answer for it at this point. There's a lot of stuff coming to Genesis, and I don't want to speak too soon on this one. The Nexus rarities don't apply to Genesis, obviously. The Genesis weapons will reflect the rarity of their the mech they've come from. So, but that's something we'll explain in detail later.
Will there be weapons that are only in crates and don't come on a mech in a crate? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can a mech equip 2 BFGs?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably not wise, because BFGs. So in the Nexus release, there will be a change in how the weapons mechanisms work. So there will be ammunition, and weapons can run out of ammunition. And then the energy weapons, they use the energy generated by the mech's power core. So the power core generates a certain amount of power, and every time a blast from an energy weapon happens, it drains from this pool of energy, if you will. So if you have 2 BFGs, you're going to have a bad time because you'll be draining the power every time these 2 weapons fire, and that kind of power drain on the average mech without battery attachments and things like that is it's not going to be able to power it adequately. So it's going to have kind of brownouts as it's trying to fire these BFGs. So yes, you can equip 2 BFGs. I wouldn't.
So ammunition and energy cores, are they coming right away with this Nexus release, or will that be down the line a bit?
They're coming right away.
And will people have to purchase ammunition for those right away?
So there'll be some mechanisms in there for ammunition and generation and things like that. But yeah, there'll be a market for ammunition.
Considering the weapons release, if I have more than 3 mechs, will there be a way soon to deploy my mechs as a group based on how I configure their weapons?
Yeah, so that's the
lobby system.
That's the new battle lobby system. Yeah.
Perhaps it was answered, but once a major or minor keycard is transferred on world for the purposes of obtaining mystery crates, are the total number of crates per address or tracked on the individual keycard NFT to prevent off-world transfers to another wallet to game the system in pre-sale?
Yeah, so that's not exactly how the keycards work. So you can't just kind of like move them around and reuse them. You'll have to hold a specific amount of keycards to make that amount of purchases. So if you want to sell your keycards after you've made your purchases, that's fine. But you'll have to buy them all back to buy more. And so that's the way it works.
Will players be creating ammunition in Nexus, or will we just be buying it from Syndicate AIs?
So they'll be buying it from Syndicate AIs, but there'll be like new features around that, coming in later down the roadmap.
Yeah, the ammunition creation and things like that will come from the resources that you get from land and things like that, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay. Does the keycard have to be Syndicate specific? So Boston gets you a Boston, or Boston keycard in a Boston wallet, or can we mix it up?
You can mix it up. There's no difference based on the faction of the keycard or whether it's a minor or a major.
So the minors and the majors both get you the same amount, or allow you?
That's right. Yeah, they get you the same amount.
Cool. All right. If you guys got any questions you'd like answered, feel free to jump up on the stage. We only had one person up here who's brave enough to jump up with us and ask in person.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Usually we quite a few people come up.
Yeah, just kind of got to get it started. Once a few come up, then they all start coming up. But again, what's the ETA where players can control their mechs, or is there an ETA? Alex said earlier it was sooner.
Yeah, I can't give an ETA, but it's definitely as soon as we can. Like we are working on it. So it's not some pie in the sky vaporware. We're working really hard to releasing it, and the first step before it actually becomes the full shooter is we will be releasing a desktop client, which means you'll actually be able to run the Supremacy system on your PC, and that means it'll be locally rendered rather than streamed. So you'll be able to move your camera around and stuff, and actually watch the battle how you want to watch it. So that'll be fun too, and that's all part of the same work that we're doing for the shooter experience. So look, don't expect it within the next couple months, but definitely expect it before the end of the year.
All right. Exciting stuff. How'd you guys like that trailer? The trailer was sick. I'm blown away. I'm actually blown away.
And everyone can look forward to the next one as well, which I think will blow people away as well.
All right, yeah, I've seen a few people working on that around the office. That should be pretty good. ETA for a. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, so I'd actually just read the same question. ETA for desktop client will be a mobile client as well. There will be a mobile client. No ETA for desktop client yet. We're still kind of we're still at that stage where we're figuring out how much work each piece will be. So if I was to give an ETA right now, I'd be way off base, and I'd probably get slapped around the head by our technical director. So I'm just going to say what I'm sure people are sick of hearing me say, but it'll be soon.
Custom Mech victory dances. Are those coming?
Yeah. Yes, there will be custom Mech victory dances. I can't say when. I don't think it will make it for Nexus release, but it won't be far after that. It's absolutely in our best interests to release custom Mech victory dances. I think that is basically how Epic make all of their money. So it's a model that I am comfortable copying.
And land sales this year.
So land sales this year, yep, and there will be something coming in Nexus that ties in with this, and that should pike everyone's interest.
Delta Force crates, will they come before Nexus release?
Yeah, they will. Yeah. Well, actually, no. Sorry, they'll be kind of the same time. So, the Delta Force crates, they're kind of waiting on the player-to-player marketplace, and that's how they'll be distributed. So everyone who joined Delta Force will, everyone who joined Delta Force and completed the requirements, they'll get a claim code. I'll let the Delta Force team handle that though, and I don't remember what the caveats are for that, but yeah, they're coming.
Will we have something like land battles? For example, a secondary battle of the primary, and the winner will gain some buff in battle or production of products.
Yeah, I mean, we'd definitely have land battles, and the land battles themselves will, like, the stakes will be real. So yeah, that's something I can't kind of speak to too much here. It's a bit too early, but there'll definitely be land battles, and like I said, the stakes will be much higher than that. It'll be more than just like a buff in battle. It'll be, players will lose and gain real things.
Regarding land sales, there's concern that land can be taken away from a player entirely, or will there be land that's owned by players and land which players fight over separately?
Yeah, so this is really one of the reasons why I can't speak on it too much, because we're still kind of designing how that'll look. The fact that these are like sovereign assets means that we can't just have a battle on the land and the owner loses, so the winner takes it. It's not as simple as that. So it has to be tied in with that sovereign ownership, but also tied in with how the game world works. I think the current mechanism right now is, if you lose your land, you change factions. So you may have been Zaibatsu before, and then Red Mountain raided your land. Now you're Red Mountain. Now you're in an entirely new economy, and you have no friends. So there'll be some there'll be some real consequences to losing your land battles.
It was said earlier that there might be a way to play without purchasing an NFT. What about pricing a package including a mech for the price of a regular video game? I don't believe in free-to-play.
Yeah, that's really interesting. And mech starter packs is something we're looking into. And I mean, it makes a lot of sense to me. Yeah, I think after Nexus release, you'll see starter packs and things like that enter the game. I agree that free to play can often seem obnoxious, constantly trying to push you into microtransactions. So yeah, we'll have a few different models. Absolutely.
All right, guys. Any other questions? Oh, we got people wanting to come up on stage, finally. All right, Ice Pickle. We'll bring up T-Dub as well. We'll just bring up all three and see who's first. There we go. T-Dub, what is up?
Hey, how's it going, guys? Hi, all.
Hey, T-Dub.
Hey. Yeah, just my one question. I probably have lots, but can you speak on the key cards? Like how or when we'll be able to sort of import those on World?
Yeah, so as soon as the marketplace goes live, you'll be able to bring them in. And we may bring in a kind of like pre-import before then. That's all contingent on the dev team. So you'll be able to bring them in before the sale goes live.
Before the sale. Okay. Yeah, like I minted mine, but I'm assuming we have to bring it back now.
Yeah, so
that's how it's working. Yeah. Okay.
We may use a different way of bringing them in that costs less gas. Looking into that. But yeah, they have to be brought in some way. But I think there's a few things we can do to kind of minimize that gas cost.
Okay, great. So just kind of hang tight for that.
Yeah. There'll be some announcements pretty soon.
Cool. Yeah, that's it for now.
Thanks, T-Dub.
Yeah.
All
All
right.
right, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yep.
Hey, Ice Pickle.
Hey, I'm blown away, first of all, by just the amount of features you guys have been able to or shipping. It's incredible. And so I was trying to save this for near the end of the AMA, but I was wondering if there's anything, Alex, that you're super excited about with this Nexus release that you haven't talked about yet that you wanted to share, because it seems like there's so much in it.
If I haven't shared it, it's strategic. there's tons that I want to share. I mean,
Okay.
like there's a lot of stuff that I would love to talk about that I don't know whether we'll be able to ship in time. So I have to just shut my mouth. Because once you start getting people excited about things that might not come right away, expectations grow. So I have to be careful, because I could totally get up on stage and Elon Musk it and talk about driverless trucks coming in 3 months, but I'm not going to do that.
All right, no problem. Thanks, man.
Cheers, Ice Pickle.
Sarah, you there?
Hello.
Hey, Sarah.
How are you guys?
No, I'm good. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. I've already asked like 500 questions, and Spencer's been great at getting them up there, so that's good. I just wanted to find out a bit more about NFT NYC. You must be excited. What exactly is going on over there? Is Supremacy going to be hosting anything, or are you going to be speaking live, or what's the plans to get Supremacy's name out?
So sadly, we were too late to get up on the speaking panels, but we are going to all of the VIP events. John and I spent big and got tickets to VIP events and paid for the VIP tickets for NFT NYC. Essentially, we will be networking like crazy. So, we'll be talking to anyone and everyone who's someone in this game, and preaching the gospel of supremacy.
Awesome. And I believe you're going to be seeing Miss Teen Crypto there, maybe?
Yeah, absolutely. And she'll be actually talking. So that'll be fun. And my plan is that when she's up there talking, she's going to be wearing a Red Mountain t-shirt. So she'll be repping her syndicate.
I swear she's going to look better in blue.
It's something you can take up with her yourself.
Well, while you're there, can you ask her how she feels about us setting up a match in this new battle arena? We've got to get the Queen and the team back into the battle arena.
Yeah, absolutely. You both need to nominate someone from Zaibatsu.
Oh, oof. Well, the princess of Zai, as we all know, is Smex. So
he does make a good princess, and he always wears his tiara to the office. So I hope Steve is listening. I mean, not listening. I don't know.
No, he's just given us a ha ha ha. It's a bit of I call him the princess of Zaibatsu. So cool.
I think Sarah Connor, Miss Teen Crypto, and Smek's grudge match definitely incoming.
It's coming for sure. So obviously people will be able to watch these matches. It's going to be streamed in exactly the same way.
Exactly the same way. We're also working on the feature to actually put both like battle stream panels up at once, kind of like like a Zoom grid. Not sure if that feature will make Nexus. We have to be careful whenever we play with the streaming engine, but it's something we can do.
Okay. And in-game marketplace, how's that working? How's the sort of the selling and the trading of weapons and mechs and all those sorts of things? Is it going to be very much like OpenSea? We're going to be setting our own prices and it's just going to be based on supply demand, or?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we were heavily inspired by OpenSea, so it will work very closely to that. We do have like custom methods. You may see much like the ability system works, where you have like a price bounce, kind of reverse auction. Not sure if that'll make the actual market release in June though, like June 15. But yeah, we got a few different ways, but it's always player's choice. So you can put your mech up on the marketplace for a fixed amount, or you can put it up as an auction, or you can put it up as a Dutch auction. Like it's we generally try to let the players dictate how they want to interact with these systems.
Amazing. I'm so stoked. I'll let someone else have a chat now. Thank you so much for answering my questions today.
No worries. Thanks, Sarah.
See ya.
All right. Anyone else want to hop up on the stage, ask you questions? We're just posting GIFs in the chat now, so. Oh, yep, we got one more. Chaos Blade.
Hello?
Hey, man, how are you?
Yeah, very good. Hey, before you were talking about the powered core and the ammunitions, can you expand a little about that? As for example, will the mech stop moving and will be drained in mid-battle? Or would you stop having like ammunitions and we need to start running away because you have no ammunition? That is my question.
Yeah, definitely right on the ammunition, and it's why a clever mech runner will select an energy weapon and a ballistic weapon, so that you're not caught without power or without ammunition. The power core itself is always generating a max amount of power. If you start to use really heavy energy weapons and it drops below a certain threshold, it'll start powering down non-important systems so that it can keep moving. That means it'll move a bit slower and won't be able to power a shield and things like that. So there's consequences to firing big weapons like the BFG.
So that means it will regenerate during the battle, but if you overuse the abilities and you are vulnerable to attacks, that would be.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it's why the mechs will need to make sure that when they fire off a BFG, they're going to hit their target.
And so about weapons that use ammunitions. If I run out of ammunition, what then?
So every mech will have a mech level ability where Syndicate members can send ammunition crates to it, much like the repair crate works at the moment, except it'll be mech level.
Oh, that's nice. That will level up the battle.
Yeah, so if one of your Syndicate members' mechs is doing really well, but you notice that ammunition's getting low, everyone can pull together and send that drop before the inevitable happens.
So and how about the other way around? Can I stock and on ammunitions even if I have a limit for the weapon? Can I have and stash away ammunition?
Yeah, there will be item attachments to mechs that increase their total ammunition supply.
That's very nice. We will be looking forward to it. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for the great questions.
All right. Melee weapons don't need to be reloaded. That's true. How many melee weapons do we have?
Well, technically, in the Nexus release, all weapons can be used as melee weapons. So there you go.
All right. We got Schlander. Glander?
Yeah, no, the first one was good. Slander.
Gotcha.
Hey, Slander, how's it going?
You partly answered a little bit of one of my questions there with the weapons, the melee. Is that going to use any energy for the plasma sword thing? I can't remember what it was called. Or just swinging the sword in general.
Yeah, it'll have an idle drain on the power core, and any kind of mech movements have a bit of a drain on the power core. Not too high though, so it's just kind of background usage. It's generally the weapons and shields and attachments that are the biggest drain on the power.
Yeah, okay. And the power core itself, is that something that regens during the match, or do you have to have a certain one power core per match, or reload up with 2 or 3 power cores or whatever it may be?
So the mechs all come with a power core, and they can be replaced, but they all come with a fairly decently sized power core.
Yeah, okay. So sort of just you disperse a bit and it regens as your mech retreats, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, it's always putting out a max level of power, and it's only when your power usage spikes beyond that and starts draining the battery is the mech negatively affected. So let's say the battery on the mech holds 2,000 units of power, and the power core puts out a steady stream of essentially 2,000 units a second. When you fire off a BFG, which let's say, and these are not numbers from the actual game, we're just pulling them.
Yeah, just
pulling them out of the air. Yeah. Let's say the BFG requires 3,000 units of power to fire. Your actual usage now is higher than what you generate, and you pull all of it out of storage and out of the generation, and so now you only have 1,000 left to play with in that second. And obviously, other things on the gun will be on the mech will be using that power, and you may have a little bit of a brownout while your power like refills, and the mech may have to disable certain things within its systems to kind of bring its power back up. Yeah. So generally, you won't see this happen to mechs, but when they are firing big guns like rail guns and BFGs, it'll drain the power. And
We'll see.
yeah, and anyone who kind of like overkits their mechs with energy weapons will definitely need to make sure they have enough like power storage to combat that.
Yeah, for sure. And also just back to the mech hire question. So I'm assuming that this is going to be like contract based. So once you hire your mech out to whomever that may be, it's say a week contract, and they can hire it out. So if they hire it out 3 days into their week contract, they can hire it out for 4 days, so to say.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's
Cool.
exactly how it works.
Yeah, sweet. All right, that's all I had.
Cool. Thanks, man.
Thank you very much. I don't know how to hang on.
I'll move you back down. Thank you, Schlander. All right. Question. When you replace the weapons on your Genesis mech with Nexus weapons, do you get the original Genesis weapon back as an NFT? We did already talk about that a little bit.
But yeah, you do. Essentially you take it off the mech and now it's in your inventory. There is a caveat though. If you try to sell that mech with different weapons and different skin, it isn't classified as a pure Genesis. So you have to reassemble your mech as the Genesis, Genesis weapons and a Genesis skin for it to actually classify as a Genesis. In fact, you can't actually take your Genesis skin off. You can only put a skin on top and then take it back off. But a Genesis mech has to be reassembled with the items, the original items, not the original unique items, but original like mech's items to reclaim its Genesis badge.
Attachments. Are attachments coming in this release?
Yes, they are.
And what are some examples of them?
So I'll give some examples, but I don't know off the top of my head which items will be available on Nexus launch, but I know quite a lot that are in the works. So we have, for example, the missile defense system, which essentially like a little minigun that shoots rockets out of the sky. We have a drone launcher, which will fire off drones, attack drones. We have boring things like batteries and ammunition supply extenders, and a bunch of awesome items. We also have a disc launcher, which fires discs, and was designed by our chief operating officer. It's his concept. He's very fond of it. So I'm not sure if that's making Nexus. I hope it is, but it's probably not. But you will definitely see the disc launcher soon.
No. Rip wallet. Okay, I think that's about all the questions we have right now.
Cool. All right, let's call it here. I think it's an hour and a half. So not bad. And we'll obviously do more AMAs as more information comes out. And I apologize for having to say soon quite a lot, but we will do our best to never overpromise, and that's a guarantee from me. And I don't even think we need to overpromise for this one, because Nexus is going to be insane. So thanks everyone, and thanks everyone who came up on stage. I always love talking to you guys, and look forward to the next one.
Thanks, guys.